NHL Nightly with your host, the sports, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Perlo Wisdom and Rico in Barry.
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, we don't have anything to talk about or anything. So before we go down this Oilers thing, I just want to talk real quick since we got you here, Rico, and we may have some other guests. I think Mike and I think Occupancy are going to pop on for a second, but Austin Matthews is going to be the captain. I think it's just absolutely huge. You know, I can't think of my Leafs history of an American being the captain of one of the most storied franchises in the NHL. And I know the Leafs haven't had any success since 1967 when it comes to the playoffs. Legit success, anyway. What are your thoughts there, man?
Yeah, man. Great news. I mean, good timing to do it. I guess Tavares sat down with the heads of the Leafs and stuff and was totally cool with it too, which is awesome. I mean, Tavares is last year playing, so it'll eliminate any distractions. You know, take the C off him, give it to Matthews. He's ours for the next few years. He's our best player. He's our leader. It's another important year for the Leafs as well. So don't mess around. Get it done. Huge news. Everybody in Leafland's loving it.
Yeah, I said if you listen to Toronto sports update, listen to Toronto sports radio, this comes as the least shocking thing to ever happen with the Leafs. So I don't know about you, but like I wasn't surprised at all. So were you?
No, not at all, man. It's just, we knew it was going to happen, whether it was going to be before the year or after the year. So I kind of like that they did it before the season started and before Tavares' contract ended.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would not be shocked at all if John Tavares is not on the Leafs after next year anyway. So just my personal so we got Occupancy, we got Mike. It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys in a while.
A little bit.
How's it going?
Occupancy, are you stateside still, or?
Nah, I made it abroad.
You are in. So we are global. NHL Nightly is global. We have our friend Ted. Occupancy is now in the land, right? Switzerland.
Yep.
In Switzerland, okay. And then Mike coming from Boston. So we've got all four corners covered. I'm in Alaska. You've got Europe, and we've got our friend Rico in Ontario. So that's good to see you, Occupancy. Mike, how are you doing?
Doing all right. I apologize. Got the travel setup going, but doing good.
You're good, man. You're good. So we're having a breaking show at noon on Eastern time, 8:00 my time, because Doug Armstrong and the St. Louis Blues offer-sheeted Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg. And the Blues official thing here is the Blues offered a 2-year contract at $4.58 million, 500. I'll get into the specifics, but per year, the maximum offer that would require a second-round pick, and the offer to Holloway is a 2-year contract at $2.29 million. The maximum offer that would require a third-round compensation. So, and before that, they made some trades to get their own picks back from Pittsburgh. So, they're back with those picks. Now the Edmonton Oilers have 7 days to match. The key here is the Oilers are $400,000 over the cap right now. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy time.
Apparently they knew. I guess why, like, people are asking why hasn't this been done yet? Why are the Oilers sitting on these guys and just leaving them out there? But apparently the Blues, amongst other teams, were in talks with these players' agents going back to at least last month, and that's why these deals for these guys didn't get done yet. Because I guess the player agents knew that offer sheets were coming. So I didn't know that, but I read that this was coming.
No,
down
yeah,
the
the
pipe.
player.
I knew this was coming.
So if you guys don't understand the offer sheet process, it's an RFA, restricted free agent. The agents are always involved. The teams go through the agents. So Doug Armstrong contacts Holloway and Broberg's agent and says, "Hey, we're going to pay your client $4.5 million. Does he want this deal?" So real quick, I'll throw up cap wages here, and you guys could see currently what the Oilers are staring at now. I'm going to back it up one page so you can see. Okay, so the Oilers right now are 340. It's probably a little hard to see, but we'll just get it right there. So there's the Oilers. They're at 341,000 over the cap as they speak right now. Okay, so that's as their team roster is right now. So if you look at we'll just zoom out here. Here's their restricted free agent. They only have one forward that's an RFA. That is Holloway. And then they only have one defenseman, and that is Broberg. So they're over the cap right now. They would have to move money out to match these. They have to get salary cap compliance. So they would have to trade away essentially $6.5 million worth of cap. So yes, Vander Kane makes $5 million. So that eliminates a lot if he's on LTIR. But I mean, is he on LTIR? That's an interesting scenario there. I think that the two players did exactly what was best for them. And this is where the Oilers are sitting. So what are your thoughts?
I think you got to get rid of Kane. Just that he's a great player, but he fixes your cap problems. If he's actually hurt, no one wants an injured guy, and I still think he's a locker room problem. So I don't know who wants Kane, but I think if you're the Oilers, you try to get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Mike. I just would say real hard to trade a guy like Kane anyway, and he has 2 years left at 5.125 this time of the year. I'm not saying no one would take him, but I'm saying where are you going to offload $5 million? And I heard our friend Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation. I was listening to his show. He was doing a live show because obviously it's breaking news for Oilers Nation. It's a huge deal for those guys there in oil country. Maybe trading Cody Ceci. I think moving Cody Ceci is probably a hard move too this time for a guy who makes $3.25, and you're talking about teams are set. Teams as well. We're about guys. Camps are. They've already had development camp. Most teams have had development camps. All teams have had development camps. I'm sorry. We're about to have camp is starting within by the end of August. When do teams camp report? I'm not sure. Let me drop this back.
I'm looking at Anaheim because I know they have a bunch of cap space. If you're Anaheim, do you shop Ross Johnson? Killorn's pretty good, but one of those guys. If you're Edmonton, try to make the cap deal. And if you're Anaheim, do you want to bring in Kane because he's explosive? I know you just signed a bunch of rookies that I absolutely love, so it's.
Well, yeah, I really have a tough time seeing anybody that's a developmental team bringing in a guy like Patrick or Vander Kane. Sorry, nothing against him.
He's a cancer.
So if quick question, if Broberg and Holloway, if St. Louis, if they accept St. Louis's deal.
Yeah,
that still won't fit. It still won't fix the cap problem for Edmonton, right? Or would it?
Edmonton will still be over the cap by about 400,000, but that's if Kane is LTIR, their cap problem's fine.
Okay.
So they're not over the cap in a significant way. They're only about 340,000 over the cap as of today.
Yeah. So I guess I just want to know. I mean, I don't know from a from a stats perspective if those guys are. I mean, I can see what I see when I watch the games, but I don't know how value how much it would hurt Edmonton if they walked. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I think
Yeah,
Broberg I think he had a couple big goals in the playoffs. I think he kind of came in. I kind of remember that, but all in all, just not sure. What difference makers they would be.
I don't like Edmonton's D, so I don't think they can afford to lose Broberg. I think Holloway, you could find someone that could be serviceable, but I don't think they can lose Broberg.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the. I think Holloway is the guy they can afford to lose, and if it comes down to it, I think that's the guy they probably would prefer to lose over those two. But I think the problem here is $4.5 million is going to be a tough match for them because they're going to have to move salary out regardless. To match both these players, the LTIR for Kane does not get it done. So if they're trying to keep one, they are going to have to move CC or somebody. They're going to have to trade a person to get cap compliant. And I think this is a master class in general managing by Doug Armstrong and the St. Louis Blues, who gets some relief from the Torrey Krug thing, so we know where they're sitting. And I just we don't see these offer sheets. Like the last ones we've seen was Montreal and with Aho, and then Montreal. And then Montreal, and Carolina, and then Carolina Offersheet Kakiyemi. And I bet you if you gave true serum to Carolina, they probably would not have Offersheet Kakiyemi turned out to be the player he is. He's not been. I mean, he plays on the fourth line. He makes $4-5 million for him, so probably don't. But they like players that don't cost a ton of money either. So, and they always compete. They're always there, right? So, yeah, it's interesting.
Well, then St. Louis has Jake Neighbors and Toropchenko RFAs after this year as well, too. It'll be pretty interesting if somebody goes for a little retribution against those players for this.
Well, but Edmonton's not going to have that room, Rico. Edmonton would be the team you think is going to do it. They got to pay Draisaitl. So, they're going to probably lose these guys anyway, in my opinion. Occupancy. I don't know. You've been getting all across the to a new country, so I'm sure you haven't been able to follow the off season as closely as you'd like to. But I mean, what are your thoughts on the offer sheet and that and such? So.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up. Sportsnet's got their signings and trades, webpage there, and I mean, look, St. Louis, they have a core. Then if they think that these players can add to it, a lot of teams are making moves. So I think they are trying to maybe keep up. Yeah, it's like you said. It's a good move by Armstrong, and ultimately, we should have decisions soon. So we should know if these are just offers or they're actually going to walk and switch sweaters there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of what.
Well, they have 7 days to match. So as of today, we're gonna know like tomorrow, or I'm guessing by Wednesday of next week, because what is it, Tuesday today? So 7 days, a week. We'll know by Wednesday that they're going to match. Edmonton's got a week to kind of scramble, Stan Bowman's first real test as a general manager of the Edmonton Oilers is, So to just put this in context with the Blues right now today, as their roster consists of, have $7 million in cap space. That includes Torrey Krug on the roster, who's, I believe, that includes the $6.5 million. So yes, they're going to have Perunovic, Neighbors, Topchenko, and Ryan or Joel Hofer as RFAs next year, but they're going to have money with the cap getting bigger and stuff too. So you inject, and look, the Blues are a little bit old on their back end with Falk and Krug and Leddy.
And signing Suter.
And Ryan Suter, who's 39. So I love adding Broberg, a 23-year-old guy, to that roster. And then their forward core is actually pretty young. Brandon Saad is their oldest player at 31. Everybody else is in their mid-20s. Well, excuse me, Braden Shen, their captain, is 32. I apologize. But so Saad and Shen are the old guys. But so you add Holloway and Broberg, two guys, one's 23 and one's 22, 23 and Broberg and 22 and Holloway. I really love the addition of you and you give up a second and third round pick for guys you know are NHLers. Now, on the other hand, if you're Edmonton, why not just match? But again, they can't. They really don't have the cap space. They're going to have to figure out. And Edmonton, by the way, Edmonton is 341,000 over the cap with 21 guys on their roster, not 23. So they are undermanned right now. Now, yes, they have Savoy. They have some of these guys they've traded for, but they're going to be in minor league deals to start the year. It's going to be interesting, guys. I can't wait for the season to start, and we'll be back in full swing as per normal real soon. I was hoping to have some other people on to talk. I don't think we're going to get that opportunity. And I know people have works and jobs and stuff they have to go back to. One more thing, I got the man over my right shoulder. Rico and I talked a little bit about it beforehand. I believe he's going to be the first American captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews is named going to take the captaincy. I want to start with Mike. Mike, you're a USA guy. What do you think of that move?
I'm actually nervous for him. Rico, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm curious how the people of Toronto would take to a USA guy being their captain. I obviously can only hear the crap I get at a Bruins game and Toronto fans just coming at me but that's just one guy drunk at a Bruins game. So I'm curious. I'm actually nervous for him just for the people coming at him. I think he's a great captain. I think he'll be fine in that sense. But I'm curious what the people around Toronto would be like.
Before Rico answers that, I want to hear from Occupancy, our other American on the panel, New York area guy, what your thoughts are just on the impact. And then we're going to let Rico, who is a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, lives in that area, goes to games. We're going to have him finish up the thought.
Yeah, I'll be brief here. He had career high in goals and points last season, so he's coming off his best season, and he's winning. He's won the Ted Lindsay Award, Hart Memorial, Calder. There's panelists and their NHL Hall of Fame people making these decisions who have determined this guy is real and he's not just some scorer, but he maybe has character. So I think it's a great decision, and despite what anyone thinks about maybe his antics, he's a hard player, and I think he'll be a great leader.
Before Rico goes, I will say, Austin Matthews is on pace to break Ovechkin's eventual goal scoring record if Ovechkin passes Gretzky, which Ovi came out this summer and said, yeah, if it wasn't for the labor strife, he'd already have passed it, which we all know that's true. Rico, let's hear, man. Give us your thoughts.
Dude, it's good, man. Everybody's excited. The timing, I think, is good too, with Tavares basically going into the last year of his deal as well too. Just basically not let Tavares end his contract and then give the captaincy to Austin. I think doing it means that this is a guy that you want as your captain, your leader. It's an important year for Toronto as well too. So I think the timing's right. I think over half of the Canadian teams actually have U.S. captains on their team right now. I think I read somewhere that 4 out of the 7 of them have U.S. captains.
Well,
so
Brady Tkachuk has one, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
Nick Suzuki is obviously not.
And
So Vancouver, Quinn Hughes is one. Yep. And then, so there's 6 NHL, 7.
Is Lowry? Where's he from?
Lowry,
I think, is American too.
Winnipeg, yeah.
Winnipeg? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. Love it. That's pretty sick that they did it. It's kind of good timing, like I said, before the beginning of the year. So
Oh yeah, Adam Lowry from St. Louis, Missouri. Who knew? Yeah. So of the 7 NHL teams in Canada, 3 of them have American captains. That's crazy. Yeah. That's outstanding. Go. Yeah, I like I said, we talked about it a little bit before the show. I listen to Kipper and Bourne. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of Toronto sports radio. Salty's saying 4 out of the 7. Who are we missing, Salty?
yeah, Nick Suzuki in Montreal, I think, is Canadian, is he not?
Yeah, he's Canadian. Nick Suzuki's Canadian. So you have Brady Tkachuk, you have Lowry, you have Austin Matthews. Oh, Quinn Hughes. So yeah, that's the 4. You aren't counting Matthews yet, but yes, 4 of the 7. Correct. There you go. He's right.
Yeah.
So
no, that's cool, man. I mean, Austin's going to put up whatever 60, 70 goals a year, but now you got the leadership attached to him as well too. So I think that's just going to propel him to even better two-way player just going forward. He's a leader. He's there for the next few years. So it's it's all good news here so far, man.
yeah, like I said, I listen to a lot of Toronto Sports Talk Radio. They have been talking about this for a while. I think they've anticipated this. Tavares is going into the last year of his deal. It only makes sense. Again, I'd be really surprised, just based on the Leafs salary cap concerns and needs, if Tavares is back there with the Leafs at all. Honestly, come at the end of next year, especially depending on how the Leafs have another first round to exit. I think we're going to see a lot of changes there, legit. So I see Tavares being one of those guys that, they're not going to bring back, especially him at $11 million. So it will be, there'll be differences. I'm not saying maybe he re-signs there, but so it'll be interesting. So there was some minor signings and stuff that happened while we were gone, but I don't want to waste anybody's time. I feel like that's kind of the show. We're going to be back soon. October at the earliest, but we'll start doing a little bit of like pre-shows in September and stuff as the season starts to mount. I was trying to get when most camps start. Canucks announced their camp, but like I don't think most teams have said when their actual training camp starts. So, no, I'm sorry. Canucks is 19 to 22 September. So into September, we're going to start seeing teams at their camps, and then we'll see preseason games and stuff. So we'll come back to you and start talking that stuff. We'll try to have everybody. So I appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time out of their day to pop in with us and say what's up. But I felt like, hey, wow, two big stories with Matthews and the offer sheets for the Oilers. I felt like we couldn't leave it without having a show, and it's been about a week since we've been with you guys. So I appreciate you guys taking the time, and it was good to see everybody. Thanks for popping on, everybody, and I'll hang out afterwards to talk to you guys if you want. But thanks to everybody else. Appreciate you. Please leave a like, subscribe. Shout out to Fans First Sports Network. I can't wait for this next season. Is going to be exciting. So see you guys later.